And I went blank all of a sudden. We are here at the Bold and Beautiful Mini Spotlight on JLJ Media. I'm James Lott Jr., I guess. And we're here today because it's hot as F in Los Angeles, so I think it's supposed to be frying my brain. I live by the water, and it's still hot, so I don't know what's wrong with that over here somehow. It's like in the 90s right now over here, which is really weird for us. I'm James Lott Jr., one of your hosts, and of course, I have my panel with me that we all talk things bold and the beautiful. Talk about the abbreviated week of Bold, I guess, call it abbreviated. Only 3 episodes. To my, again, I always don't know, so I guess it's to my left. She's pretty and pink. I love it. And with Mr. Momoa behind her, Tami Goveia.
My protector.
And the drums, which I love drums.
Yeah.
And then below, I believe she's below, our buddy from the Bold and Beautiful podcast. She's joining us again. I'm so glad to have her joining us and doing these with us, Miss Amanda Ross.
Hi, guys.
So how are you guys doing? Otherwise, how you guys doing?
Good. Like you said, you're by the beach and I'm in the valley.
Yeah.
So it's just, and with the puppies, I feel bad for them because our window of time, I can't take them out in the afternoon. It's like, I'm sorry guys, but your paws are just going to peel off. So anyway, it's hot.
I know. Now, Amanda, are you near any of the tornado, any of the hurricanes or anything down there?
Yeah, I'm right by the water. So it is super hot here.
Muggy.
Yeah, the humidity's crazy.
Don't miss that at all.
Yeah.
At all. But are you any path of the hurricanes? Are you okay or?
I'm okay right now. Yeah.
Okay, I know. It's hurricane. I'm not there in the eyes now. I can't remember what the name of the hurricane was. But they're in the eyes. There were H's in the eyes.
I think it's Isaiah.
Isaiah.
Oh, what happened to Hannah? We had
She's
Hannah.
gone.
She went away. I'm done.
She left the building.
She's left the building. She's done.
Yeah.
Now it's Isaiah. That's right. He's going through. So everybody who's going through that right now, if you're watching, we're really sending to you. And Tami, you felt an earthquake, did you? I didn't feel it where I lived.
Oh, yeah. But it was much better. This one was fine because the one we had before a few months ago, that was really long. It's like, okay, this is freaking me out now because it's not stopping. This one felt like Jason Momoa just kicked the bed really hard.
Okay.
Jolted us, but
Yeah.
then it was done. So.
But folks here were like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "You live in California. There's earthquakes." I don't know. I roll. Every once in a while. The last one was a little scary because it did last a long time. I did get a little nervous. Like, should I get out of bed? My whole house actually moved, and I was like,
Oh, wow.
should I because I was in my bed's over here, and my bed came up, and I'm not a petite flower, just to say that. And it came up, and I was like, "Oh!" My brother goes, "James." I go, "I know." And then we kind of like, and then it's like, and I was like, "Should I get?" And then it stopped. But it lasted. It was one of those rolling logs. I don't like those. Remember San Francisco years ago, Miss Tami? I was in that one, 89. That was a long rolling earthquake. Did not feel good. Jolts, I can handle those. Just okay. And I've been in a hurricane once. Not fun either. Whew, not fun. All that water. We want water out here. That much water.
Yeah, I went through Katrina.
Oh, that's right.
And it was bad. Yeah. It was really bad. It changed our whole city, like our whole beach. It just changed everything. Like multiple cities all across the coastline.
Yeah.
They're completely different now. Than like when I was a kid, it's just completely different. And we had all these historic houses on our beach. Yeah. All these like irreplaceable houses. Most of them are gone. A few did survive like the frame, so they redid them. But that's what I was sad about because we had a lot of old homes and things like that on our beach.
So that's sad. But it changes your geography. It changes that, and you're like, there you go. Yes, that's horrible. Switching gears, there's one piece of news. I just want to bring it out in the open just now because it's a piece of news that came out. There's a new Zende. They're bringing Zende back. Not Roman. He's busy being famous. But this guy who I remember from a show, I did an after show at AfterBuzz called Zoo on CBS. I did it for 3 seasons. And he was on Zoo. And I hope his name, I just did an episode about him on my BB Rewind. If I'm hurting your name, I'm sorry. I think it's Delon Demetz. Could be Delon,
Okay.
Delon.
I didn't know how to say his name either.
I was like, I'm going to say it. I'm going to apologize now, but they didn't say when, but he's joining soon. Sort of upping the black folks again. Black Foresters, I guess, are coming. So I don't know. So
Well, nice if we could keep them on the show.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm thinking it might lead, towards the Zoe Carter stuff. It may be, I'll take a triangle.
Please.
And Lawrence St. Victor is now contract. That's other news. He is now contract.
Yay!
Amanda, you're happy. My bad.
Oh my God! Finally.
I know.
Right?
Cheers.
Yes, cheers.
Yay.
And thank you, Amanda, for our mugs, Forestry Creations in the house.
You're welcome.
I wish this was a mimosa, but it's just regular beer. I don't want to start that early just yet. I was going to, but I'll wait. But yeah, so there's some great casting news. But for me, I'm like, this is interesting because the whole Black Lives Matter stuff has happened. Now we're seeing some diversity casting happening. One people had a black female doctor on this week too. I was like, where did she come from? A little sassy. Where did she come from? So it's just very interesting.
She was great.
It was good. She was good. She was like, don't talk to her. I'm like, don't bother her. I liked her. She had a short little haircut.
Yeah.
She's cute. I was like, which is nice to see women with short haircuts on television. Tami, right? Good to see that. I think it's good. Everybody has to have long hair. Exactly. Exactly. So what do you guys think overall of our 3-day week? Because there was Monday, there wasn't a show because we laid to rest someone very important in our American history. And then Thursday, they did a rerun. So I don't know. So what do you think about basically it was 2 stories this week. So what do you guys think? We'll go through Amanda first.
I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was good because they always do something that makes me go, okay, all right. That's why they run the show. I get it. Because I'm always saying, like, how does Sally come back from this? And then you're watching these scenes and you're like, oh my, I feel so bad for her. I don't even feel bad for Flo. I'm like, oh, poor Sally. I'm like, he better not be mad at her. He better not be mad at her.
You go first. I kind of agree with you. So you go, Tami. What do you think?
I really, really enjoyed it because it was so different from last week. It was much more emotional. And to Amanda's point, when you saw Courtney Hope and what she did and Bill with his scenes and his remorse. And then of course, Ridge in the hospital at her bedside with Steffi was just like so much more emotional.
Yes.
Loved it.
I agree with both of you. We're going to talk about, we're going to go in depth, of course. My thing is, because I saw, was it Access Hollywood or whatever, how they're filming some of these scenes.
I know.
We got to talk about that for a second before we get into it. Now I'm watching the scenes kind of a little differently. I'm like, oh, okay. They did a great job. So folks, if you haven't seen it, you can go online. They are using blow-up dolls and mannequins.
Yes.
And they're using actors stay off on the side. One films their scene, the other one comes in, so they are doing it. So did that affect any of you watching this week?
No.
Oh, good.
No. But
I thought they did great.
Yeah, and I did appreciate the anatomically correct. With the blonde. Okay. And there was even a height difference. Yep. Like Ridge's mannequin was tall, so she had the correct eye line. Or sight line, yeah. So it was like kudos.
I agree. I was very impressed. But I did watch it a little bit, like, oh, this is good. But it was good. I mean, it didn't distract me from getting into it. But I did watch it a little bit, going, oh, that's interesting. That they found a way to do it. And now General Hospital's coming back this week, so let's see how they did it. And I did get word that Y&R is filming right now. They are filming. They don't have a release date yet. So, but I'm really curious to see Bold and Beautiful started this whole thing, so we'll see if the others are following suit.
I wonder why Y&R's taken so long. They're the last ones out of the gate. It's interesting.
Well, their production value, I think, is a lot different than the others. I think we told this before, how, you know, Bold and Beautiful has the sweeping shots of Los Angeles, all these things that other soaps don't do. And I think Bold is just so short. It's a short soap. It's easy to probably crank out. Y&R, you know, they're the granddaddy of, like, you know, the shots and the sets and, you know, all that stuff. So maybe that's why, I guess. Because I talked to somebody in Y&R. I was like, when do you guys pay back? We don't have a date. We're working on it right now. We don't have a date yet. So this next week is Oh My God week on OMG week on Y&R this week. It's going to be OMG moments. So it's very interesting. But I think Bold is just probably easier to produce, maybe. I don't know, smaller cast. And literally it's just, 2 stories. I mean, that's literally all they focused on with, like, 7 people. I mean, that's so simple. I mean, not saying they don't work hard, but I'm saying that's just easier probably logistically, I guess, to work. And let's go. I want to go right into the whole Courtney Hope. Here's your Emmy reel right here. I'm complete. Just like Amanda, I was like, because remember last week we were all like, they're ruining the character. Well, now I like your Amanda. I was like, that's what I wrote down. Okay, I get it. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I didn't write this down. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I got it. She wanted the monologue, the performance. Shout out to Darren Brooks for not even having dialogue, kind of just like his face changed. But anyway, I want you guys to talk about this, and I will kick in. But I loved it. So whoever wants to go first, go first. I know it's a lot to talk about, so where you go first? Go first.
Well, I was always on Sally's side.
Yeah.
Just because I was so upset with what they've done with the character. So I wasn't just going to abandon her because I didn't blame her. I blamed the writers. Sally, because she's just speaking and doing what the writers are giving her to do. But man, Courtney, you literally saw her panic attack. You saw the progression of the panic attack. And as she was continuing on and apologizing and trying to explain herself, and you could see her get more and more worked up, I was like, girl, stop. Like, stop. You're gonna hurt yourself. So when she just conked out like that, it was like, yeah, you could see her hyperventilating.
Yeah.
You know, who's had panic attacks?
I have too.
Right? So I was there with her. It's like, oh my God, if she doesn't stop now, this is not gonna end well. So it was quite the scene.
Amanda, what do you think?
Yeah, and I was like, if he is mean to her at this point right now, I am going to lose it. Because come on. A lot of what she said is true. Like, he just discarded her twice.
Yes, he did.
For Flo, right?
He
So
did.
it's like, really? He better not be mean to her. And then Flo was kind of on her high horse a little bit. Like, I get it. You were kidnapped and hit. But it's not like you've never told a lie. You know what I mean?
Yes, I
Baby snatcher.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I was getting pissed at Flo, actually. I was kind of like, girl, almost cussed. But calm the F down, bitch, because you're not all that either. And I was like, shit, because she was really being very judgmental when she was doing that. When in the beginning, she softened later, but I'm saying, but in the beginning, when when Sally was giving the speech, it's so Courtney Hope, it was just all about her. When she was doing that whole, and when she went down her past, and she brought up her whole past in Los Angeles. And how she keeps getting dumped. I mean, Thomas dumped her too. Like, and then Liam, went back to this one. Like, she keeps getting dumped, and she fell in love with him. And he did promise her all this stuff. And all of a sudden, your first love is back.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.
And also, but she mentioned all her dreams in the business too. How the place got burned down. Just things keep happening to her. I keep saying I feel so bad for the character of Sally. The put upon Sally, she's getting piled on, and she went her breaking point. Even Stephanie, folks, tried to kill Brooke at one point. That famous scene at the cabin she had her hands around her, she goes, you pushed me to the brink, and she's like, because she was going after Thorne, and she's like, I'm tired of you going after my men. And it's like, you get pushed, and and there's a show called Snapped for a reason out there. You know, it just kind of happens, and I think, and I'm with Amanda, I was just like, I get it. I totally get what she's going through. And Flo needs to kind of calm the F down, because like, girl, you ain't all that either. And Wyatt's face was softening. Like he got it. Like he was pissed, and he should be pissed a little bit. He was lied to, majorly lied. He thought he was gonna die. But then it's like, wow, she's like, I love you so much. I mean, it's like, I'd laugh. That Peloton girl trying to play off first. Well, I tried to tell her to, I'm like, girl, you're all in it too. I tried to tell her this was going to work. This was going to work. And I mean, she was like, a great backup. I was like, yeah, girl, obviously you're trying to like, Dr. whatever your name is.
I loved how she said to Sally, she said, was it Peloton? Yeah. She said, while you may be a whack job, you're not delusional.
There were bits of humor in there.
Oh my God. I was literally laughing out loud. Like,
when she got in the hospital, goes, oh, how ironic. I faked my death and now I'm in the hospital again. I had a chuckle. I was like, that is kind of funny. It was like, yeah, I mean, they're all at the hospital now, but it's in the hospital. But I was just like, really? I'm like, the writers they won me over. They won me back.
And I don't know if you guys saw the scene, but I didn't see it. So when Flo was rehashing things about the snake.
Yes.
I hadn't seen that.
Oh, you didn't see it? Oh, yeah.
No, so I didn't know It's like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
There's that walker again.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
That was funny.
It was funny. But yeah, I just thought the writers finally did something that made up for the whole time of us going, this is not Sally. This is not Sally. Why is this happening? Now it makes sense. It connects the dots. And now it really makes it interesting where we go from here. That's basically how this show ended last week. On Friday, it was just like, will you forgive me? You want to call, you want to send me to jail, fine, but will you forgive me? And I could think to myself, like Amanda was saying, I wrote this down. Actually, I wrote it down. All right. Wyatt is in a room with 3 liars.
So true.
He's in a room with 3 liars. They all lied about something, Tim. So it's like, I wouldn't mind if he said, bye bitches, and he just like left. All of them. But in a way, it's like he can't. What?
Like, that's his big issue. Like, don't lie to me. Yeah.
And I mean, they all lied at some level. Flo did a horrible thing too. She didn't do it to you, but it happened to your niece. It happened to your brother. So it's something that does affect you. That lie was a major lie. So it's kind of like, folks, that's a big deal. So now you forgave Flo. And is there some feeling still there?
That is what I was wondering. Is he going to realize, wow, she really did love me? I'm wondering that myself.
I think he just feels guilty.
Okay.
I think there's a question in his brain about, yeah.
He thinks Flo's perfect. That's what Sally said too.
Right? Sally even said that. The way he looked at her and the way he ran to her, in Sally's mind, she said there's no doubt that she's the one he's in love with.
Yeah. So I have a question.
Yeah. Ask the question, girl.
Did you guys notice last time we talked, you're talking about how Liam looked all buff, right? How Scott Clifton looked all buff. Did you notice he had no facial hair? It was completely shaved. And then this week he had a full-on beard with like long hair. Did you guys notice that?
When he showed up at the hospital, I was looking at him and I'm thinking, what's different about him? And I'm like, oh my God, the beard. And even his hair was like super long and poofy, and it's like, wow. So
I was wondering if y'all noticed.
There we go. And I think they left it on purpose too. They didn't care. They're just come on in. You know, I mean, it's and that's another, you know, and then that was the other storyline basically was, you know, Steffi waking up, thank God, waking up. So I liked that she found out from Bill that he did this. Because everybody was getting on my nerves. It was literally an accident. Like it literally was. Bill has no reason to run over Steffi. None whatsoever.
Right.
So when Steffi was like, I understand it was an accident. I was like, thank you, Steffi. I'm like, it was completely, obviously it was an accident. Yes, it creates conflict because Ridge hates Bill and that's his daughter. That's fine. But it was just like, the detective all the time, I'm like, it was like, well, did you see her beforehand? You said you guys both were going wreck. I'm like, you know what he means. Like nobody was going crazy. I mean, like that comment was kind of bugging me a little bit. Like you're trying to make Bill like this bad guy. I was like, you should have set up differently, writers, than her going one way, him going another. I mean, like, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that?
I agree. I was like, wait, it was an accident. Like you know Ridge is gonna be Ridge. Yeah. Okay, you know exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I just thought, poor Bill, like he already feels guilty as it is, and everyone's acting like he purposely ran her off the road or something, you know?
I know there was a really good moment where Ridge walks into Steffi's room and he's on his high horse and he's got this monologue about that Bill every time he just destroys lives and everything he touches. And I'm like, really? You're just gonna be focusing on Bill right now when your daughter's in the hospital? But he stopped himself and he literally said, okay, what am I doing? Going over this is not going to do any good.
Right.
Again, the writers did a good job at that. They again, your daughter's hurt. Who gives an F?
Yes.
On with that. You get to that later. There's like right now your daughter, because Steffi and Ridge have this really strong relationship. I liken it to Ridge and Stephanie. I liken it that they're that close. When I remember interviewing Ron Moss, I was like, were you guys in love with each other? Now it's a big joke, but he's like, you know, basically she was in love with her firstborn son. Stephanie was in love with Ridge, so to speak. You know, like
right.
Kind of Oedipus thing going on, kind of. But he never played it super like that. But he said it was always alluded to that she almost loved her more than she loved, you know, Eric. I feel like Steffi is his girl. That's his girl. That's Daddy's little girl. And now, you know, and Phoebe's gone, so that's his baby girl. And so they're super close in business and life. And so I'm glad that he came to his senses and was like, okay, screw that part. My baby is here.
And there was one moment where he's at her bedside, and I wrote it down, and she hadn't waken up yet. And he says, oh my God, he says, if you're stuck in the dark, I'm here for you. I'll be here and I'll help you. But when he said those words, if you're stuck in the dark, that really, you know, in some ways, she wasn't in a coma, but she wasn't conscious yet.
Right.
Like, oh my God, and he's crying. Like, that was just, to your point, James, it's like, man, the bond between the two of them. And then she woke up.
She woke up.
She woke up.
I know. That's why I love that. They always play that bond very strong. They do. They always play very strong, almost to a fault on some level. But in these scenes, in this instance, it completely works.
Yeah.
That's his focus would be all on her. But I love the placement. You know, Liam's back here. I mean, I'm watching everything. I can't help it. I'm watching everything because it's just very fascinating. It's working for me. I'm just fascinated by the whole thing. Again, I watched that special, so I'm like, he's over here and Brooke's over here, and there. I mean, it's kind of like, it's so funny to me how everybody's so spread out, but it is working. It does work. And Dr. Finnegan, more of him, and Steffi said, look at, and Steffi sees him. Okay. So we got Amanda with the whoop whoop, and Tammy with the Okay, Tammy. So let's start with you, Tammy. So not yet? Not feeling yet?
you know, I will always be team Dr. Jordan Armstrong.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Him and Steffi, I wish.
Yeah.
Dr. Finnegan's not, by Friday, he's starting to warm up a little bit. And I just think as an actor, he's starting to be more comfortable. So I'm willing to give him more time to see what he can really do. Because initially, to me, he was just this robotic. Like, you could tell how tense he was.
Yeah, he seemed nervous.
Yeah, really nervous, really tense. There's all that lingo, all that medical lingo you have to do, and you're playing opposite these like huge iconic actors. I mean, it's nerve-wracking. Are you kidding me? So I'll give him time.
Okay.
However,
Amanda.
Well, we named him on the podcast Dr. Finnegan.
That's good. That's good.
Did you guys notice he first came in, and Ridge was like, this is my daughter, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so when he looked at Steffi and she looked at him, did y'all see that? It was like a couple seconds, and they had like a little, ding, like a little, did y'all notice that? They had like a little chime.
I noticed that part, but I didn't notice them looking at each other.
yeah. Yeah.
As
So
I said, her eyes were opening and then she saw him.
Right. So I know I want to give him some time because I just don't want Steffi with Liam. So if he keeps that from happening, I'm good with it.
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
The doctor that you're talking about, was that played by Vincent?
Irizarry.
Yes. What happened to that? Does anybody know what happened to that? I thought he was going to be on.
James and that conversation, you know, when you bring an actor of his caliber onto a show, you expect it to be a substantial storyline.
Right.
So, like, to your point, Amanda, when he was like in and out, it's like, wasted opportunity.
Thank you.
Kidding?
Well, as you know, I interviewed him a few months back, and we talked about it a little just briefly, and just how, because he's I mean, David Hayward, Lou Jack, you know, Nick.
I was in love with him when I was a teenager.
Yeah, he's
in love with him.
He's a legend. I mean, he's one of the nicest guys. Trust me. I've known him for years, and so I interviewed him, and he just said that it just didn't work out. They wrote for him. He went in, did what they asked him to do, and that was it. He would have loved to stay. He would have loved to stay on longer. I mean, he would love to. I mean, he's an actor that could stand up against Torsten K and
Right.
And all of it. He could work. I mean, he could. It was his choice. Obviously, he wouldn't mind staying.
And when it comes to pairing Steffi with someone of Vince's caliber, he's a man's man.
Yes.
So power-wise, strength-wise, I think pairing with Steffi is more of an equal. The doctor, he almost seems younger than her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, okay.
No, I don't see the equal because she's fierce. Steffi Forrester is a fierce, force to be reckoned with. And I just don't know if he's able to reckon with it.
Well, maybe they're thinking they want to bring someone on that's like Steffi's type because she's into Liam, who she basically can just tell what to do. So maybe that's what it's like. She wants. They're trying to have someone like, oh, well, this is her type. You know? I don't know. I'm just guessing.
I think, I agree with both you guys, and I think the problem is self-work is hard. He just got on. It's probably trying to use the pacing, all the dialogues. He had a lot of dialogues.
And he's never done a soap.
Never done a soap for him. So I think once he loosens up, we'll see if there's true chemistry. Right now, they had the zinger for you, for you. But she has to get out of the hospital. They have to have some kind of. So we'll see. I mean, and who knows what he is? We don't know what his background is or what he's really like. We just don't mess. It's almost like she said, robotic doctor just comes in and kind of gives the look and does it. He's pretty. He's pretty to look at. So I mean, that's always a start. I'm bold and beautiful. He's beautiful. The bold and beautiful. Now I can see if he's bold. That's gonna be the next. He's the beautiful part.
So, question to the both of you. Clearly, Steffi's in a lot of pain. She's got some fractured ribs. For a second, I thought, are they going to create a addicted to pain pills storyline for her?
Amanda, go ahead, you go first.
I was just gonna say, me and my husband just talked about that this morning. He said, you know what? I bet you they're gonna do, oh, now she's gotta be on pain meds and then she's gonna get addicted. And I was like, you know what? I didn't even think of that. But yeah, we were just talking about that.
I have also heard speculation about that. I hope they don't do that. I'm so like, that's such a soap trope to do that. We don't need to do that with Steffi. Why make this strong woman? Yes, I know it happens, but we don't need to make her. The problem with a lot of stuff on Bold and Beautiful with their women, they make them damsels in distress a lot of times. That's over the years, they've just done that. And I think Steffi was one of the first. Stephanie, the original Stephanie, was one of the few that wasn't. And Steffi was kind of her successor. And I kept thinking, good, they're making her strong, making her strength. And Caroline was kind of that way too. The younger Caroline was kind of like that too. She's very strong and everything too. So I'm just like, don't fall into that where she has to. Oh, I mean, I'm sure she'll kill it and be great and all that. I hope they're not. But they brought that up. I've seen people online bring it up.
It's a possibility.
It's possible.
I don't want them to. I just don't. I really don't. But they might. And I'll follow, of course. I'll watch Bold Review. I'll watch it. But I think so. But basically, it kind of just it ended this week. Just kind of ended like okay. It was like there was no major cliffhanger on either storyline. Just that will you forgive me to Wyatt, and their storyline's still up in the air. Just that she's awake, she's in pain. Everybody knows what's going. Everybody knows what happened. I was like, finally, Liam knows what happened. Like, hello, he knows what happened. So
I do have a question. This was when Dr. Escobar. Where was she? I don't know. But she said, I'm probably going to lose my medical license over this, which I never wanted in the first place. And my parents are going to be really disappointed. And I thought, and then they mentioned, Flo mentioned that she was in Dr. Escobar's office and she had a sketch on her desk. Now, was that a sketch that Dr. Escobar did? Is she fashion oriented?
Does she want to do fashion instead of doctoring?
Yeah,
Right.
I don't remember that scene, so I don't know if you guys remember that or.
I don't.
Yeah, Sally made a deal with her that she would help her get a job at Forrester.
That's right. Now I forgot about that. You're right. That's right. That's right.
So interesting.
She's like, bye, Dr. Peloton. She's like, now I want to be working out at the Forrester Creations.
Yeah, because that's what she said. She never wanted to be a doctor in the first place.
They're all liars over there too. They're all liars over there too. So why not? They hired Zoe. She was a liar too. So like, might as well hire her over there too. Why not? Hey, why not? They're all liars. Everybody's a liar on that show. Sorry,
Okay.
my way. They're all liars. So like, why not hire her over there?
Interesting. Okay. I'd like to see more of her. So
Which is good. Which is good.
yeah.
I know I call her Peloton Girl all the time. Everybody does. But I mean, that's her claim to fame. But no, Dr. Escobar, yes, is her name. I was just, I'm always shady like that. So I don't know that. So good.
So I had another thought.
What's another thought?
Steffi was in pain, right?
Yeah.
And the doctor gave her pain meds. And then she was still hurting and crying and everything. And I was like, I wonder if she's going to have something else wrong that they haven't found yet.
Possibly.
Like if there's something else going on. I don't know.
Well, folks are still holding out hope that Kelly is Bill's. There are folks still talking about that. They're still talking about that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of folks who are still there. They're still looking at Bill and Steffi. I still see something there too. I do. And I'm sad they haven't just gone. I was like, screw the other Logan sisters. Just go down and go to Steffi, and let's get Ridge upset. I'm happy. I'm like,
Agreed.
I'm all for it. And they have chemistry. They're both beautiful. They have chemistry. And we said, and Tammy said this on the show years ago, or back in the day. She's strong. If you keep her strong, she can be a great foe in some ways, and love interest for Bill. Dollar Bill. I think she's one of the few women that could really kind of. Again, Katie's a damsel in distress most of the time. Brooke's strong in her own way. She's kind of, she's
her own way, yeah.
But nobody else on there really. I mean, I think Steffi's one of the few that could stand up to Bill and tell Bill about himself, and Bill kind of go, "Oh, okay." I think. But folks are asking, "Where's Taylor?" Of course.
She was in the credits, the beginning credits.
I know.
I noticed that. And I think is it Matt Hanvey?
Yes.
So he tweeted, Hope's daycare center.
He's so funny.
Kelly got, shipped over to Hope's while Steph was in the hospital. So now
with Douglas and Beth and everybody.
Everybody's over at Hope's.
The whole brood.
I miss Annika.
Yeah.
She's been off, but that's okay. She needs the rest.
Yeah,
she's had a lot of time to rest, but she could use more.
Yes. Hope had a lot. Well, she drove most of the story for like 6 months. So yes. I think that's why her and Matthew Atkinson are both having a little break. I totally get it. Woo, that was a big storyline for them. So I'm glad they want to focus on some few other people. Why not? It's a big cast for a small show. So I think, I think right now this whole Sally thing, now it's going to be put to bed at some point. So it's going to be good now. Now we can see other stuff going on, hopefully. And then the Steffi thing, I guess gets a storyline finally. So we'll see.
I can see Dr. Finnegan and Sally.
Ooh. Okay.
Like that image makes sense to me.
Okay.
What about Sally and Thomas? What if Thomas comes back, right? What's going to happen when he comes back? Because they have to somehow bring him back.
And redeem him.
Yes, and redeem him. So maybe he apologizes and he gets with Sally again?
No.
What is it?
I won't allow it.
Oh, you won't? You won't allow it. I don't mind that. I'm fine.
Well, they both need redemption.
They do.
I would just never trust Thomas ever again.
Oh no.
Ever.
But then who can Sally go with if Wyatt don't take her? I guess Dr. Finnegan is his only choice, I guess, because she can't go back to Liam. That's done. He can't do anything with there. He's with Hope. And there's other people on the stage. Bring someone else on the canvas. I don't know. Anybody else?
Carter.
There's always Carter.
The new Zende. I wonder what they're going to do with him.
Oh, that's true. It'll depend on chemistry. It'll depend on what the chemistry says when he went in the room together. As we know, but obviously that changes everything. So.
You mean when the mannequins get in the room together?
The dark wig and the blonde wig.
That's what the chemistry's like.
I have a mannequin here. Her name is Modette. And now I want to pull her out and do a whole. I'm thinking about doing a little photo shoot and making fun of her.
We have a mannequin too.
See, there you go.
He's a blonde mannequin.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that. Just going, hi, in order, honorable and beautiful. So I thought about that, but I haven't done it yet.
Amanda, do you have a mannequin?
I do not.
Get one, and we need to do a show with our mannequins.
That's a good idea.
My God, I could have it dressed up behind me. I could. Totally. That might be an idea. I just wrote it down. I wrote everything down. Bring out my mannequin. She has just a beautiful dress on right now and everything. So I'm like, I have wigs.
She has a beautiful dress on.
That I wore years ago on something. That's another story by itself. A hem. So, but that's your show, folks. That's your show. I mean, it was a really short week, so it wasn't really much. It was really two storylines, two kind of major scenes basically happened. I guess we're back next week, right? They're back next week. They're back also. I guess they're still going, right? Bold and Beautiful.
I don't know.
I don't know either. So, okay, here's the deal. If there is new episodes next week, we'll be back next week. If there isn't, we won't be. That's gonna be the thing. So we're back. Because I don't know what they didn't say anything. They didn't say. They didn't do a promo or anything.
No, they didn't.
I wonder. Yes.
I wonder if they have some stored or if they're out again.
It could be. I didn't know that. So there you go. That's really interesting. Okay. So then we will see. So we may be back next week, may not be. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. See the new episodes. We'll find out tomorrow if one comes on, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like literally. We'll see what happens.
Promo. I don't think I've seen a promo.
Me neither.
Online, so we'll see.
Yeah, I've seen no more Bold is Back stuff going on. Like, our own cliffhanger, folks.
Yes.
So, Amanda Russ, tell them where they can find your podcast and where they can find it.
You can find my podcast at theboldandbeautifulpodcast.com and on all the platforms.
Yes. Go check it out, please. And Tami Goveia, where can they find your lovely self?
You can find me on Twitter at Tami Goveia and on Insta at tami.goveia.
Tami.Goveia. And you can find me where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. I'm not kidding you. I'm everywhere. It's crazy talk. And JLJ Media is across all social media platforms. Also, the YouTube channel is JLJ Media. And I'm telling you, I have over 25 shows on the network. This is a whole list by day of great content. As of tomorrow, Forever and a Day, the first audio soap opera is coming out tomorrow on JLJ Media. So follow me wherever you see JLJ Media, Spreaker, Spotify, iRadio, whatever, follow it. It'll be out tomorrow, Forever and a Day, Mondays and Fridays for the next 14 weeks, the first season of the show. It's good, folks. I'm the narrator of every other episode. So you'll hear my deep voice talking about where they are every other episode. So you'll see that. But it's there. It's going to be there. It's coming out. I'm very proud of it. We have some big name producers behind it, big name writers from other soaps on it. It's really good. Forever and a Day is the soap. And it'll be an after show for it with me and Tony Moore on Sundays starting August 9th. That'll be the first after show. We'll be talking about the first 2 episodes of the show. So
where can you find it?
Anywhere where James Lott Jr. Anywhere on JLJ Media. So it's going to be it's a JLJ Media show. So you go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, Google, wherever, Spreaker. Just go to JLJ Media, Forever and a Day. Also, FAADseries.com. FAADseries.com for all kinds of information on there. But it's going to be out there. So it's a listening, no video, all audio.
Radio days.
Radio days. As I call it, old school with new technology.
There you go. That's perfect.
That's exactly what it is. So that's coming out, premiering tomorrow, August 3rd. So I'm very excited about that. Everyone, please wear a mask, wash your hands, have compassion for others, and we'll see you next time.